Okay, so it seems like I'm on live here now. So I'm not so familiar with all this technology. Somehow people think that I know, but actually zero. So that's why I'm not quite sure. So anyway, yeah, Stephanie have informed me that I'm on live now. Okay, so we can start. Yeah, first of all, I would like to say hello to everybody who is streaming live now together, as well as those who will watch uh, this sharing in a later time. So, sending a lot of tashidele and greetings to all. And also, I think today is Mother's Day. So therefore, sending immense of greetings and appreciation to all the mothers, those of you who are already mother and who's live here watching this live streaming. Um, uh, so especially today, since we are starting this Dharma sharing on mind training teaching, the Mahayanic Dharma, in that content, or fundamentally, uh, uh, the Buddhist principle of the Dharma is very much about the concern of well-being of numberless sentient beings. And those numberless sentient beings, in fact, uh, have a close relation to us, very much similar relation, like our present life's mother. Uh, just due to the uh, due to the gap of different aspect of life from beginningless lifetime. Due to that, we are unable to recognize the rest of the sentient beings as one's mother. But in actual fact, there's not even one single sentient beings that who have not been our mother, and not only being mother, but they have been being mother for many times. Since our rebirths are numberless, so therefore, each and every single sentient being has played the role of kind, precious mother numberless times. So therefore, today's Mother's Day special occasion, we can take opportunity to remember the kindness of numberless sentient beings by remembering, their immeasurable kindness, taking the role of mother. Each time when we take a rebirth in the womb, can imagine, can understand, especially those of you who already played the role of mother in this life, how how much sacrifices that you have to offer for the protections of life of children. There's so much sacrifices. The love and the generosity of time and effort is incompatible, So therefore, the rest of the numberless sentient beings too have done the same way in many times in our beginningless lifetimes. So therefore, we take the opportunity to express our sincere gratitude and repay the kindness. So the best way to repay the kindness to the numberless mother sentient being, starting from this very lives of our own mother, is ourselves to engage into virtuous deeds, in particularly to engage into complete and most profound Dharma, the Mayanic Dharma, which is very much engaging in the which is very much adopting the practice of six paramita. So in that way, when we comes in contact with individual mother sentient being, starting from our own mother, offer the service of generosity, caring for them, then observe virtuous moral discipline to perfectly, to be virtuous friend to our mothers. And then not only that, in the service of mother sentient being, starting from this life's mother, require immense of patience, to able to endure whatever hardship, whatever suffering, whatever difficulty comes in our way when we provide service to the well-being of our mother sentient being, starting from this life's mother. Then, not only that, patience in gathering virtue, patience in the gathering, good deeds, to repaying the kindness of our precious mother, both physically, mentally, and verbally, finding all the virtuous speech, kind speech, virtuous physical service, and virtuous attitude towards our mother. Without patience in gathering virtues, our serving sentient being would be very limited. You see, then more than that, to have the patience of offering service to the benefit of numberless sentient beings, numberless mother sentient beings. The most courageous attitude, the altruistic attitude, the great compassion attitude. In that way, we serve, we train to serve in action, directly, right, very now, starting from our present precious mother. Then that expand and pervades the service to the rest of the numberless sentient beings, starting from your father, who also has been one's mother, grandparents, children's, rest of the relatives, rest of the friends, rest of the neighborhood people, rest of the humanity, rest of the animals, starting from your pet, and the rest of the gods and demigods, the rest of the hungry ghosts, the rest of the hell beings, to have such a great artistic, endure in the great deeds of service benefiting numberless sentient beings. Then on top of that, then having joyous perseverance, not just offering service, not just caring, offering service to our present mother, this life's mother, then the rest of the sentient being, not just as a kind of in the concern of eight worldly concern, then you do the service, not like that. You do the service in the heart, with the heart of joyous effort. In order to have that joyous effort, we need to see the the qualities in the sentient being, starting from our present mother. And not only that, see the quality or see the advantage and the benefit by offering service and by cherishing the well-being of this present life's mother, the rest of the mother sentient being. The understanding when you offer service, service with a joyous heart, then in particularly the joyous heart that which drive by understanding the benefit of altruism, by understanding the benefit of the absolute freedom of from entire suffering and its causes, and the benefit of temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of enlightenment for yourself as well as for the mother. On the basis of this understanding, then we gain joyous effort. And such effort will be consistent, will be genuine, will be effective, and will be lasting, and will deliver the result, you see. And not only that, then, a very concentrated way, not distracted way, not, while offering the service, the well-being of our present mother, as well as the rest of any of the other mother sentient being, if we are distracted by, our worldly concerns, distracted by delusions, self-centered ambitions, distracted by attachment grasping, anger, ignorance, laziness, etc., then the service won't be concentrated one. Service won't be effective. You see, the care to our mother and our mother sentient being won't be effective. You see, so it requires a sense of concentration. Then not only that, since we are offering service to the mother sentient being, and who are still bounded by karma and delusion, who are still bounded by samsaric aggregate, samsaric mind, samsaric physical body. So therefore, even we offer genuine, dedicated service, but it's not necessarily always, have a positive return in the conventional aspect. As we all know, when we offer service, even with a pure heart to someone, not necessarily we always, get the reply with a positive reply. And sometimes we get offended, with unappreciated, attitudes, or complaints or misunderstandings, etc. You see, so therefore, in order not to, lose the great effort of offering service to mother sentient being, in whatever circumstances, still be most beneficial, from the temporary benefit to the ultimate benefit, is for us to carry the right view of emptiness, right view of selflessness of person, right view of selflessness of phenomena. In short, we offer the service with total selflessness. The view in the attitude of selflessness, the free of self-centered attitude and free of self-grasping attitude. At least in our awareness, if we are able to do that, this service of serving sentient being, free of that, then our service to our mother and our service to rest of the mother sentient being will be most pure, like that. You see, so therefore, this Lojong teaching, the theme of the Lojong teaching is to learn and practice about altruism. So therefore, I feel very auspicious that we start this Lojong teaching on Mother's Day. Even though there's not even a single day which is not Mother's Day, and it shouldn't have even one single moment where we don't think of the kindness of mother and we don't serve for the benefit of the mother. But in a worldly platform, in a conventional world, today regarded as the Mother's Day. So therefore, we take the opportunity to get deeply reminded how crucial and how beneficial and how urgency, for us to, have the practice of repaying the kindness of, from this very life's mother up to the rest of the, mother sentient beings, like that. So in conjunction to, the Mother's Day, and to repay the kindness of, one's own mother and the rest, one's own this life's mother and the rest of the mother sentient being, I thought we can do short practice of Mother Tara, doing short meditation on Mother Tara, who is embodiment of all the mothers, who is embodiment of all the wisdom deities, and who is the essence of past, present, future, numberless, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, essence of activity. So therefore, if we can dedicate maybe we can do about one mala recitation of Green Tara's mantra, in dedication to your own this very life's mother, this very life's mother's good health, long life, and to fulfill all her aspirations, from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. And also, we dedicate this practice to the rest of the numberless mother sentient beings, for their freedom from pervasive suffering of change, and suffering of pain, and be the cause of actualizing from temporary sensual happiness up to the ultimate happiness of liberation and full enlightenment. So we will dedicate for that. And also, the practice of Mother Tara becomes so significant, in particularly to this, to start the Lojong teaching, because the Tara is one of the four deities of the Kadamba tradition, the Kadamba lineage. Starting from Lama Atisha, the early Kadamba, Lama Atisha, Domdamba, then later, the new Kadamba established, from Lama Tsongkhapa himself, up to present living Kadamba Great Master, Enlightened One, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, and like such as Gyatso Lama Sopa Rinpoche, and all your spiritual gurus, So they are living Kadamba masters, so all the past and the present Kadamba masters. One of the main meditational deity is Mother Tara, You see, Mother Tara. So Mother Tara promised to Lama Atisha, to succeed in the journey of pursuing the transmission of Dharma lineages in altruism in bodhicitta, the journey that took all the way to Sumatra, and meet his most precious guru, Lama Silingpa, where he spent about 12 years to cultivate the teaching on altruism. Then successfully obtained the realization in bodhicitta and traveled back to India. Then traveled to Tibet during 11th centuries. Then he revealed the root texts of the Lamrim and Lojong, the Lamb on the Path. Then nurture the great, Tibetan Kadama master, like such as his heart disciple, Gu, Ngok, and Domdamba. Earlier the three major disciples. Then later, Chegawa, Podowa, Sharawa, and Chegawa. All the way up to today, our living Grand Master. The success of these practitioners delivering full enlightenment within one lifetime is very much, support and blessing from Mother Tara, to make the learning of Buddha Dharma and contemplation on the Buddha Dharma and meditation on Buddha Dharma, to actualization on the stages of the path from very ordinary level, like us, from very ordinary level, all these masters, when he started, exactly like us, then within that same very ordinary lifetime, one lifetime, able to achieve full enlightenment. And these are the effective, the blessing towards the activities in the Dharma, because Mother Tara is the essence of numberless Buddhas' activity, you see, in particular to deliver the benefit of Dharma activity, which is to actualize liberation and enlightenment, you see. So therefore, we take the opportunity today, before starting off, this series of teaching on the Lojong teaching, the mind training teaching, we make a strong supplication to Mother Tara, to grant us the blessing exactly how Mother Tara have granted the blessing to Lama Atisha and the rest of the Indian Pandits and the rest of the earlier Kadamba masters, and including the present living Kadamba master, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, and all the gurus. May I too get that same blessing, so that one can able to achieve state of full enlightenment within this very body, within this very lifetime, you see. So make the supplication in the very sense of urgency. I think most of us here already past half of our lifespan within this lifetime, you see. So the conventional lifespan wise, we don't have much time. And not only that, nothing can stop us living this body, living this precious human rebirth. You see, death is certain. You see, then not only that, no one, even the holy objects on your altar, won't speak out the exact time, when we're going to pass away from this precious human rebirth, when we're going to live from this precious human rebirth. The time of death is uncertain, you see. And not only that, the continuation of our consciousness, our being, do not stop by end of this life. the continuation of consciousness travel life after life. It's endlessly, you see. You see. So therefore, if we don't have a protection to this continuation of our consciousness by dharma, then our endless continuation will be suffering, samsara. You see. But if we're able to utilize this present precision of rebirth, the opportunity, including relating practice to Mother Tara, and utilizing utilizing all the potential of this precision of rebirth, and dedicating to actualize the Dharma in practice through the straightforward guidelines of the Lojong practices, then yes, the continuation is endless, but that endless continuation will be altruistic endless continuation, or enlightened, omniscient, calmless, endless continuation. The continuation that which is absolutely free from entire sufferings, entire causes of sufferings, you see, karma and delusion. And not only that, will be so beneficial, every single existence of that continuum become the cause of numberless sentient beings, peerless happiness, you see. So therefore, we take the opportunity to make us like urgency supplication to Mother Tara, to bless our heart, never to be separated from the Dharma, and that Dharma to be direct antidote to the purifications of the defilements and obscuration, the delusional defilements, the delusional obscuration, and the obscuration to omniscient, to purify that. And you see, then not only that, request Tara to bless the journey to purify the defilement and actualize all the wisdom and method, never to encounter obstacle. This is exactly what Lama Atisha made the aspiration to Mother Tara, and Mother Tara, protected, Atisha to complete his journey up to enlightenment. Even from India traveling to Sumatra, it is emphasized. It talks about taken about 12 months, by sea, and can imagine the journey. It is extremely scary journey. It could take in any moment the life, from that journey. You see, but able to overcome all the challenges and able to, succeed. Not only acquiring Dharma, but Dharma become the path. Not only Dharma become path, but path able to develop without any obstacle. And not only develop, but develop completely. By actualizing, full enlightenment. You see, so we too here make the same aspiration to Tara. Then, this very time, the practice of Tara is also extremely significant, to overcome this current, the crisis, the pandemic crisis that going around the world. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama give specific recommendations to practice Tara, to overcome the pandemic crisis. You see, so therefore, right this very moment, since few months, so many people have died, due to this pandemic. So many people, almost entire 7 billion over people, live in the fear. Can you imagine? Every single space is almost like filled with negative energy of fear, confusion. And not only that, the sufferings, manifest so, so obvious, in hundreds and thousands of people's life. in relation to losing job, losing loved one, there's so many crises, that going through. You see, then there are so many kind and compassionate people out there, but then their life are also in very very danger, in so much risk, so therefore all these frontliners like nurses and doctors and people who get out there and offer service to alleviate, the sufferings, need immense of blessing, immense of protection, immense of prayers, So here, so all of us, we virtually we are gathering here. There could be quite a number of people here, and if we collectively, dedicate this practice to the cause that whatever mentioned before, it will be far more greater benefit than one individual person conduct the practice and dedicate. You see, so so that makes for us to so significant for us to do this Tara practice. Okay, so before doing that, first we take refuge, then also generate bodhicitta motivation. So there's a Pandit, Shakyashiri wrote these prayers of refuge and bodhicitta. So I will read that, then try to refresh your practice of refuge and reinforce the generation of bodhicitta motivation. So it says, motivated by the wish to free all beings continually, I shall take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha till the essence of enlightenment is reached. So this is a Mayanic refuge. For the benefit of numberless sentient beings' enlightenment, in order to actualize that, then I go for refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So now take a moment to feel the present of 10 direction, numberless past, present Buddhas, and all the future Buddhas, like such as Bodhisattvas. Then all the deities, all the gurus, and all the lineage masters of this Lojong teaching. Starting from your root guru, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the lineage gurus of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Jebje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, and your own individual gurus. Then feel the presence of all the Kadamba lineages, that starting from Lama Tsongkhapa and his two disciples. Then the first, the reincarnation of Dalai Lama, the Gintin Trup, who also one of very important lineage holders of the Kadamba, the teachings. Then also feel the presence of all the earlier Kadamba masters of Tibet, from Geshe Zopa. In class such as Geshe Zopa, such as Geshe Potowa, such as Geshe Chekawa, and such as Tongme Sangbo, such as all the founding masters of the four Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, Gelug. Feel the presence of all the Nalanda Pandits, such as Nagarjuna, Shantideva, such as Lama Atisha, Lama Selingba, and rest of the Pandits of Nalanda Monastery. In particularly, those 17 Pandits. Also feel the presence of in particularly the lineage of Lamrim, the lineage of instruction, the Lojong, and the lineage of philosophy, the scripture, like such as the scriptural text founder of all the great monastic institutions. And also feel the presence of all the the lineage, the root lineage of the profound Dharma lineage, Manjushri. Then extensive Dharma lineage, Buddha Maitreya. Then feel the presence of all the rest of the 1,000 fortunate Buddhas, surrounded by all the past, present, future Buddhas. Then visualize the source of all this divine being, the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. Also visualize and feel the presence of, the filing of scripture texts, and also the presence of numberless stupas, and numberless sanghas. Then there, you express from depth of your heart the aspiration of actualize inspiration, commitment to follow according with Buddha Dhamma Sangha for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness and enlightenment. So now, all these visualized object of refuge and object of merit field transform or emerge into the aspect of green Tara. So visualize green Tara, who is essence of all the earlier visualized object of refuge and merit field, residing on top of your crown or above your head in the space. Then emanating infinite light rays towards you, towards your present mother, and towards the rest of the other sentient beings. Visualize and feel that the light rays and the nectar that which flow from the light rays reach towards your entirety of your aggregates, your being, and also reach to each and every single rest of the sentient beings. Then you visualize and feel instantly purify suffering, causes of suffering, karma and delusion, and elevate and abide them into the state of Buddha's realm or the Taras realm. So while visualizing the light rays and the nectar flow, and keeping in the heart that rapidly purifying the sentient beings from suffering its causes, and abiding them in the state of Taras enlightenment. So while doing this meditation, we recite the Taras mantra on mala. Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Kasun Che, Dage Zoye Bezonam Ye, Lola Benje Sangye Drupashu, Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Kasun Che, Dage Zoye Bezonam, Lola Benje Sangye Drupashu, Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Kasun Che, Dage Zoye Bezonam Ye, Lola Benje Sangye Drupashu, Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Kasun Che, for immeasurable. Semje damje dewa deve judan dembra juje. Semje damje dunga da dunga ye judan dawa juje. Semje damje dunga mebe dewa da mi dawa juje. Semje damje nire chada. Nidan dave tanyola nebra juroje. Semje damje dewa deve judan dembra juje. Semje damje dunga da dunga ye judan dawa juje. Semje damje dunga mebe dewa da mi dawa. Semje damje nire chada nidan dave tanyola nebra juroje. Semje damje dewa deve judan dembra juje. Semje damje dunga da dunga ye judan dawa juje. Semje damje dunga mebe dewa da mi dawa juje. Semje damje nire chada nidan dave tanyola nebra juroje. Ko ale do dare ma do dara ye jige do dure na wa nam le do thoma yum la cha che lo. Supplication to Mother Tara. Now recite the mantra. Om dare do re so ha, 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 om dare do re so. Om dare do re so ha, 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 om dare do re so. Om dare do re so ha, 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 om dare do re so. Om dare do re so ha, 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 om dare do re so. Om dare do re so, 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 om dare do re so. Om dare do dare dure 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 so make a dedication in bodhicitta and emptiness. Jawade nyudo da pama doma dujune dowaje jama leba de zala go barai sho chanjo simjo rimboje maje banam jejoje jawanye ba me baya gone gundo pewa sho tonye tawa rimboje maje banam jejoje jawanye ba me baya gone gundo pewa rai sho Pama semje tamje tenda de yujing do tamje da do tong da janjo semba kana so jo ba de da kwenje molam do juro je semje ne ba chini ba nyu do ne le ta ju ju do ne ma le da do jong wa me ba ra jo be dang zo wa mi ge be shen do ba semje semje ra wa kun je be sam ba chu jin du ta xie shu. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, so so I think today I may not able to start from the actual, the text from the great collection of Lojong, the Lojong Yaza text. But before going there, I want to point out few important points. One of the point is for us to get together, virtually for this teaching, it has to be infused by pure motivation. It has to be infused by correct motivation. Otherwise, you won't be benefit. Both myself and the listeners. We have to conduct this sharing with pure motivation. When we talk about pure motivation here, in particularly, the subject is Mahayanic Dharma, and the motivation has to be bodhicitta. So it's not like learning, other treatises, philosophical treatises, including like Abhidhamma or even Vinaya or logics. When we learn, when we study, when we have Dharma discourse or sharing on Lojong, which falls in the instructional, lineage, which falls in the instructional lineage. First of all, the Lojong teaching should be provided, if the conducive condition is provided, then should be provided in person. But then now, the visually it is a conducive condition because we are not allowed to have have an in-person gathering. You see, so there's a valid circumstance there. So therefore, it is all right to offer the Lojong teaching, through online, uh, uh, but then that does not discount, you know, the requirement of, the serious requirement of correct motivation, the altruistic motivation to pursue this dharma. So those of anyone who join, this sharing just to check it out, then maybe it's wasting your time. You may do some other more important things than spending time here, because it won't benefit. And those of you who just want to learn just information, more scriptural, or just more scriptural knowledge, and then also there's not much benefit. Not it will not fulfill the main benefit of acquiring the teaching on Lojong. So then, especially if someone just because of feel bored watching TV, feel bored of socializing, feel bored of any other things, and just come here and to have some relaxation, hoping to find some relaxation, and then again, this is also not right. You already saw up to now, that from the starting up to now, my style of providing, the sharing is very boring. You already realize that. I mumble a lot, I repeat a lot, I distract a lot. I'm not like kind of academic, very focused, not like that. So you already experienced, you cannot find any entertainment. Coming into my Dharma sharing, there's no entertainment at all. But then, if you comes with the artistic motivation, and not on top of that, understanding correctly why you are occurring, first of all, the Dharma. Secondly, in particularly, the essence of the Dharma, or the direct instruction on the Dharma, the Lojong teaching, the mind training teaching. Why? You see, the answer to that, the reason has to be, without any choice, has to be for enlightenment, for enlightenment, for the benefit of numberless sentient beings. That include yourself, your family member. That include all the benefit of the mundane life. But the ultimate, the goal, the focus is for the enlightenment of benefit of numberless sentient beings. So this is the reason why we are occurring, why we are doing the sharing and the teaching on Lojong. See, so this has to be very clear. You see, so on that basis, then every single moment of each and every one of our time, from the initial stage of even marking in the calendar to attend the Lojong session, then the rest of the time afterwards, not just the immediate time after the teaching, but the rest of the continuum, until the day every single numberless sentient being achieve full enlightenment, to offer your service to benefit, to entire numberless sentient being, without any discrimination. For that purpose, I'm according the Lojong teaching. For that purpose, I'm listening, the sharing. You see, so if we do that, if we come together with this motivation, then doesn't matter, whether one understand the scriptural explanation or not, whether one able to gather the different points or not. Our mind get purified from our ordinary samsaric habitual and transform ourselves, our body and mind, into virtuous, in loving kindness, compassion, in altruism, and eventually, actualize the stages of the path all the way up to enlightenment. And not only that, every single moment of effort, will last the benefit until entire numberless sentient being achieve fully enlightenment, because of the effect of the altruistic motivation. Yeah. So even while listening, you may be, I think since it's virtual and no one's seeing each other, as long as that you are paying attention with the correct motivation, then physically maybe you are doing some other activities, maybe preparing food, or doing maybe doing some preliminary practices like prostrations, while listening this teaching, doing prostration, doing wonderful offerings, arranging the altar, etc. Even you do like that way, the merit is equal. The merit is so profound and so vast, because of the altruistic motivation. Then at the same time, the positive vibe that comes from this collective, dharma sharing, will be so beneficial to ourselves and to the rest of the sentient being, like that. So therefore, so correct motivation is extremely important. And not only that, the ambition here is, eventually that we finish the entire this thick book on the great Lojong collection. You never know, may not able to finish within this lifetime, or maybe may able to finish within the month, or within a few centuries. We never know. Yeah, but the ambition is that. But in any way, until enlightenment, I think every one of us, we have to actualize the realization in entire teachings of the Lojong. So so this is the study that I have to take, life after life until we have achieved enlightenment. You see. So, but what required is the consistent learning, contemplation, and practice, in particularly application of the guideline from the Lojong in our day-to-day life. So therefore, we need consistent reminder. So once a while, such a gathering, whether in actual person or virtually, it will be a great reminder, And also, since we are not doing every day, and just 1.5 hours, and I will discipline myself to really finish within 1.5 hours. So in fact, it's not a long session, or not a big commitment, and it is just once a week. And maybe for some time during this pandemic difficulties, most people are staying in, and more than that, if the teaching conduct on Sunday, then as long as you can provide 1.5 hours for this, with the bodhicitta motivation, then at least we can dedicate very concentrated great amount of virtue for the benefit of numberless sentient beings. Yeah. So so when we have this clear motivation and understand the main purpose of studying Lojong, then we will not lose the rhythm, or we will not give up halfway like that. As I mentioned earlier, even though there are so many different texts on the Lojong teaching, but then the main theme or the meaning very much comes into one point, very much in the discussion, very much in the discussion of wisdom and method, in particularly the method aspect of the path and the bodhicitta, and like that. So therefore, this series of this gathering is very much to find dedicated time to accumulate vast merit and vast imprint in our mental continuum in the Dharma, and also keep reminding ourselves to get focused on the essential path, which is the true altruism, the method aspect of altruism and wisdom aspect of altruism, and that remind us and lead us in our day-to-day life. Find time to dedicate, to focus habituation in bodhicitta and emptiness meditation. You see, so like that. Yeah. So now I would like to share the bit of historical background of this this Lojong, or the Kadamba tradition, or the Kadamba teaching. So as far as concerned with the early Kadamba tradition in Tibet, very much comes from it is the lineage comes from India through Lama Atisha, and Lama Atisha receive through the lineage gurus that who have direct, unbroken transmission all the way up to the enlightened Buddhas. You see, so therefore it is not something like made up by some individual people or individual Tibetans, so like that. So after the death of Atisha, his main disciple Domtenpa organized his transmission into the legacy known as the 4 deities and 3 dharmas. The 4 deities, the 4 Kadamba deities that those of who even us that who are serious about Kadamba teaching, then for us to integrate these 4 deities in our daily meditation and daily practices. So the first one is Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, who is the source of all the Dharma, who is the source of all the lineage of the practices. Then the main theme of the Kadamba teaching, or even the main theme of the Buddha Dharma, is non-violence, in particularly in the Mahayanic, Dharma, the great compassion. Mahayanic, the Kadamba tradition, which is altruism, great compassion and bodhicitta. Being so, to bring most sweetest and most effective effect of transformation, our self-centered attitude into our altruistic, behavior, altruistic, enlightened attitude. Then, taken compassionate Buddha Cheresik as one of the main meditation and deity. by relating practice, to compassionate Buddha Cheresik, in relation to actualizing the realization in the path of Lojong. So so you take Cheresik as one of the main deity. Then the third one is the green Tara. The Tara is the since the Kadamba teaching, the tradition came from Atisha Domtarba, Lama Tsongkhapa, is the integration of the entire Dharma, both Sutra and Tantra, without any contradictory, complete and single instruction to these single individuals, complete enlightenment. So is complete enlightenment within one very lifetime, not taking many lifetimes, within one very ordinary short lifetime. So therefore, the practice that you relate through the Kadamba tradition, the Lojong tradition, then the learning, contemplation, meditation, and realization has to be so effective and so quick. So due to that, then the Madhatara, since being the embodiment of numberless Buddha's activity, and also the Madhatara, who made a commitment to Cheresik, compassionate Buddha, whoever cultivate the practice of compassion, compassionate deeds, then Tara is always there to assist, to sweeten the activity of the compassion. So due to that, then Tara is one of the main deity. Then the fourth one is Myoba, the immovable, deity, deity, and also Dharma protector. That the deity, the meditational deity, enlightened meditational deity, who protects, all the hindrances, the hindrances, human, non-human, spirits, cosmics, then most of all, the delusional hindrances, in particularly the hindrance of self-cherishing attitude, which is one of the main obstacle to accomplish the realization in the Lojong teaching, Lojong practice. So taking the the deity immovable deity called Myoba. So then we gain immense protection for that. You see. So as far as concerned with the three dharma, the tradition whereby the individual practitioner could perceive all doctrine of the sutra and tantra as a non-contradictory and could personally apply them all as a complementary method for the accomplishment of enlightenment. So the three dharma lineages, the lineages in relation to the scriptural study, Dharma lineages in relation to the Lamrim study, and Dharma in relation to the instructional study, the Lojong instructional study. By actualizing these three aspects of learning, then one will get to the point that all the sutras and tantra, the entire 84,000 teachings of the Buddha, will find complementary method to accomplish the full enlightenment. So if we don't actualize, acquire the Dharma in this way, then if we study only partial or just one lineage, then there's a danger of finding, contradictory, which is such obstacle occur in Tibet and also even today's time. Just acquiring partial Dharma, then there's misunderstanding of sutra and tantras are contradictory. Pali tradition and the Sanskrit tradition, having contradictory. In actual fact, all this. Then also in the Vinaya and the Abhidhamma, or Vinaya and Vinaya Abhidhamma, or Vinaya and the Tantra, having contradictory like that. But in actual fact, all these different aspects of the Dharma play complementary to each other, to fulfill the ultimate goal of full enlightenment. You see, so like that. So these three different lineages of extensive learning in the Dharma, which tradition that flourish even today's time, like such as in great monasteries like Sera Debunkan, then there's a rigorous, extensive scriptural studies, you see, and at the same time there's extensive learning of Lamrim tradition, extensive focusing learning on Lamrim teachings, and there's also the tradition that which flourish very extensively, the adoption of the extensive study and practices of the Lojong, you see, and all these different beneficial traditions are very much started when Domtenpa, one of the hard disciple Lama Atisha, first hard disciple Lama Atisha, who started the Reading monastery during so Reading monastery during 1056, so during around that time. So in short, after Reading monastery was started, then this extensive 3 ways of learning traditions was established. So Reading monastery is at the valley north of the Lhasa, which was there after this seat of the Kadamba lineage. So that is the main root of the Kadamba lineage. Then nearby Pembo, I think Pembo Sangchu, I think Pembo Chu and the Gyama village were also home to many large Kadamba monasteries. So as far as concerned with this scriptural tradition, so that one is very much general Kadamba lineage. So the scriptural tradition was established by Geshe Potowa, one of the major disciples of Domtenpa, Geshe Potowa, who emphasized extensive studies of the 6 major works. So the first one is Geshe Potowa, emphasized one of the first one is Asanga's Bodhisattva Bhumi. Then the second one is Maitreya's the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara. Then third one is Shantideva's Shiksha Shamucha. Then fourth one is the Shantideva's Bodhisattva Avadacharya. Then the fifth one is the Ayadeva's Jataka Tales. Then the number 6 is the collections of collections of verses from Buddha's canon. In Tibetan they also call as the Dhammapada. So the Geshe Potowa, established a very, very rigorous scriptural study, and especially very much based on this 6 different type of scriptures. As far as concerned with the oral lineage, instructional lineage, so Geshe Chekawa established the oral lineage, and Geshe Chekawa, so he focused on a very strict monastic discipline, and in particularly, on the basis of strict monastic discipline, then he also emphasized extensive study on the collection of Kadamba teaching, the teachings of the father and the son, Kadam Pache Puja. The teachings of the Kadamba father is very much more of the collection of like Lama Atisha, etc. Then the Kadamba son is very much referring to the Kadamba, was a Lama Atisha's disciples, such as Dromtamba and the rest of the Tibetan Kadamba masters. So there's a great collection of their teachings called Kadam Pache Puche. So there's a monastery institution in Sangbu area, which has been very influential on the preservation of this oral tradition. So there's one Sangbun New Talk, the institute which was founded in 1072 by Lekpe Sherab. Then the so as for the pit instruction lineage, Kadamba Geshe Puchungwa so received the transmission and responsibility to hold the teachings of the pit instruction for the 16 circles of the Kadamba teachings. As a support, he received also empowerment instructions and the secret teachings of the Lamb on the path to enlightenment. The pit instruction lineage has its root in the secret oral transmission of Atishas are embodied in the precious book of Kadamba Master, the jewel rosary of the profound instruction. So the pit instruction, the main root, the text is referring to the jewel rosary of profound instructions of Bodhisattva's way. So this is one of the Adisha's, very important work. So this text is seen as the main text of the Kadamba. So this instruction were passed down only to one student in each generation in a single transmission until the secrecy was lifted at the time of Natang Shunulode. So this Lojong teachings in earlier time, is very much, a teaching or whisper from one to one. One of the main reasons is because of the profundity of or challenges of the practice, because the essence of the Lojong teaching is the Tonglen practice, and it requires immense of condition of merit, and also require immense of courage, and inspirational, the guide in order for oneself to able to dedicate to practice. So due to that, not many people, have that capability. So due to that, the teaching has been for a long time, kept just one to one. So this oral tradition teachings are generally known as the instruction for training the mind in the Mahayana tradition. According to Kundin Drupa, Adisha has received these three lineage of. So the lineage of this Lojong teaching for Adisha is received from the three main masters. Even though Lama Adisha has 507 gurus, but then for the Mahayanic Dharma, in particularly the mind training, the transmission of mind training teaching to develop altruism, through the 7 causes and effect and self-exchanging with other. So this tradition, he very much received from 3 main lamas or 3 main gurus. You see, so one of them is the Dharmakirti, also called as Lama Silingba, where Lama Atisha traveled for about 12 months by sea to Sumatra, and and mm, mm, So and where he spent about 12 years, as I mentioned before, then actualized this direct lineage of uh, bodhicitta. So this is very much from Dharmakirti. Then the second guru from whom that he received the bodhicitta instruction is Dhammarashita, who is regarded scholar at the University of Odanpuri, where also many other great pandits reside. Then the other guru, the third guru, is Maitri Yogi, who is regarded dedicated yogic in Buddha Maitreya, who's pursuing to actualize the Buddha Maitreya's foot. So this yogi was even nicknamed as a Maitri Yogi. So but the main Lojong teaching that he transmitted to Kadamba master of Tibet is very much responsible for Lama Silingba, Dharmakirti, Lama Silingba. So Lama Silingba is the main guru from whom you have received that. So as like us that who pursuing the blessing of this Lojong teaching, when we study, meditate, or including meditation on compassion, then if we are able to remember and keep Lama Silingba in our visualization, in our object of reference, that will help for us to generate the blessing. So you see, compared to Lama Silingba, Lama Atisha is more well known, more well mentioned, and sometimes Lama Silingba less mentioned. But for individual, the benefit of realization, then we have to engage in the Guru Yoga practices of these lineage gurus. So it's very important for us to remember to have the lineage guru of Lama Silingba like that. So during the time of the three noble Kadamba brothers, Ku, Nge, and Domtamba, many of these oral teachings were collected together and compiled into a Lamrim. So that was before this Lojong teachings was publicly revealed. Yet at that time, the lineage from the Dharmakirti were still kept secret. So the specific, the lineage that Lama Atisha received from Lama Silingba and that passed down to Domtamba, there's a very strict measure not to publicize. The teacher have to examine among the disciple, while guiding through the instruction on the gradual path of enlightenment, Lamrim, or philosophical teaching, then observe, then select, through the guru having certain level of clairvoyance, to select only the matured fully mature disciple then pass the instruction. Then by actualizing the instruction and application and practice without any doubt, within that very lifetime, the disciple achieve full enlightenment. Like that. And in short, so the Lojong teachings, in particularly the tradition came from Lama Selingpa, is not shared if someone is not qualified to actualize enlightenment within that very short lifetime. So that much strictness, that much seriousness, you see. So can you imagine how seriousness can you imagine how seriousness that we have to prepare when we acquire Lojong teaching. I tried to mention a little bit before, but from here we can understand. If we are able to acquire the Lojong teaching with proper, conducive condition, then it is extremely powerful for the development of our spiritual journey, like that. So when the time was sufficiently mature, the Lojong teachings was publicized and revealed. So that so that is very much the time that Geshe Langri composed 8 verses, and Geshe Chekawa, made the Langri Thamba's teaching, Langri Thamba's 8 verses. Then from there, Chekawa was inspired, then composed the 7-point, training of the mind. So then, since then, this very teaching that kept very secretly, start to come into public. So in short, before being these teachings are public, the secret lineage was very much to Lama Atisha, to Domtemba, Potowa, Sharawa, and Chekawa. So then after Langri Tamba and Chekawa, then this teaching came into public. Then from there, this teaching integrated into the 4 Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, and Geluk, like that. So the teaching that that we receive from the 4 different Tibetan Buddhist tradition, all root to these great Kadamba masters, and ultimately root to the transmission that provided by Lama Atisha, the text on the Lamb on the Path, So so like that, yeah. So then, eventually this teaching, these varieties of the Lojong teachings are compiled together. Then that form into so-called as the collection of great Lojong teaching, or the Lojong, or the collection of hundreds of Lojong teaching, or the Lojong Gyatsa, it called like that. So the instruction on the great collection, which was compiled together by great Bodhisattva Shunu Gyalchok, and a great Mu master Koncho Gyaltsen. So Shunu Gyalchok and Koncho Gyaltsen were the one who initially compiled all this teaching together. His the Gonjo Gyaltsen, he's said to have studied with, many great learned, 14th century masters, including Lama Tsongkhapa, and also he have received the mind training instruction, directly from one of the students of the Bodhisattva Tongme Sangpo, who composed 37 practice of Bodhisattva. One of principal student called Sudinpa. So he have received this teachings. Then Shunu Gyaltso confer the entire transmission of mind training teaching of Gonjo Gyaltsen on Gonjo Gyaltsen and effectively appointed him as the holder of this transmission. So holder of the Lojong transmission. So and that transmission, exists up to today, up to our lineage gurus, like that. So now, this the Lojong, the title, Lojong. So it is, the word combined, of two letters, Lo, Jong. Lo refer to mind or attitude. So Jong refer to training, habituation, cultivation, or cleansing, etc. So mind training, Lojong means mind training, mind habituation, mind cultivation, mind cleansing. You see, so so this different meaning, carries a silent idea of transformation, where it takes, profound, profound cleanse, profound what you call it, transformation from our negative state of being to the positive, positive attitude or positive being, like that. So in another way, the entire Buddha Dharma is also regarded as a Lojong. So Buddha Dharma is an antidote to subdue our mind. You see, so in that relation, entire Buddha Dharma is also Lojong. But then this is specific, transmissions of Lojong teachings are given a straightforward, title of Lojong is, it's a very straightforward instruction, directly hits to cleanse our, negative habituation, due to that, then specifically, name as a Lojong. So, however, what we are concerned with here of this particular teaching, the collection of Lojong teaching, or the mind training teaching, is very much to the development of altruism, the Mahayanic Dharma. So not just cleansing our negative emotion, not just transforming our negativities into positive, but here the positive, the transformation have to take place to actualize the essence of the Mahayanic Dharma, which is altruism, which is bodhicitta, like that. So therefore, it also called as a Mahayana mind training, like that. So now, when we talk about the earlier scripture, the scripture source, why we need to talk about that? Even in the past, Geshe Chekawa, when he first saw Langri Tamba's adverses, when he saw the word, take all the defeat on oneself and victory to others, it's like a shocking, or it's like absolute contradictory to our normal worldly attitude. It sounds like impossible like that. So he, but at the same time, it is a very profound and very powerful. You see, so but he cannot confirm whether the instruction that given in the verses by Langri Thamba, whether that is a matter by somebody, that is some Tibetan, Langri Thamba himself, or it has its source all the way up to Buddha. So then Geshe Chekawa went to meet Geshe Sharawa, because that time I think Langri Thamba is already passed away. So when he saw Geshe Sharawa, then asked whether this is, first he recited in the initial verse from the verses, and also mentioned that I saw this particular instruction in the verses, whether this is a pure Dharma or not, or it is just made up by one individual Tibetan. So then Geshe Sharawa mentioned that if this is not pure Dharma, then what could be, and this is the instruction, this is the teaching accordance with the great Indian Pandits, the Nagarjuna. So then the Geshe Sharawa quoted teachings on Nagarjuna's treatise in the Precious Garland, Nagarjuna's treatise, the verses on the Tonglen practice, verses on taking and giving, Tonglen practice, taking all other suffering to oneself and giving all one's happiness to others. So he said that is the source where Langri Thamba revealed the verses, and where the verse that you have encountered in the verses. So therefore, if someone that who aspire to actualize full enlightenment, then without relying on this Lojong teaching, you cannot achieve enlightenment. So similar like ourselves, unless of individuals that who have already exposed into 5 great treatises of the philosophical texts, or Ganjur Tenjur, the 300 over the volumes of teaching by Buddha's own word, as well as the later commentaries, the Ganjur Tenjur, the Buddha's canon. Then, whenever you read any of the Lojong teaching, you find, oh, I see, oh, this is actually the source is there, here and there, Otherwise, because the instructions are so intense and it's very straightforward, the Lojong teachings are try to deliver without much distraction of philosophical arguments, or including quoting so many different sources, to show the scholarly kind of the write-up, and also it's not really kind of poetic way. So it's like very straightforward, like a directly, clear instruction, how to deal with our all the negative habituation. You see, so therefore, it's good to know, what are the sources of this coming, the texts that we're going to discuss. So according to Chekawa, the several sutras and early Indian treatises stand out as the primary sources of the mind training teaching. Among the different Mayanic sutras, those single out are the Akashagarbha Sutra. So these are, these are all Buddha's own word, Akashagarbha Sutra, and the teachings of Vimalakirti Sutra, and the flower ornament sculpture, and teachings of Aksaya Mati Sutra, and as well as uh, the collections of the different verses from Buddha's canon, like Ganyu Tengyur, is also called as a Dhammapada. So these are the major sources of the classical Indian treatise. Among these, then the those single outed are Nagarjuna's Precious Garland. This is one of most important texts, and also Nagarjuna's discourses on the wish fulfilling jewel dream. Then other one is Ayasura's Garland of birth stories. Then Maitreya's Ornament of Mahayana Sutra. Then Asanga's Label of Bodhisattva, or Bodhisattva label. Then Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. And also Shantideva's The Companion of Training. Shantideva's Bodhisattva's Way of Life is more, the teaching more towards general public. Then the Companion of Training is more towards the Sangha, the scholars, like that. So anyway, those are the teachings. So among all these earlier cited teachings, the two major, the source that where all the teaching, all the Lojong mind training teachings that depend on, is the Nagarjuna's Precious Garden and Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. 3 to 4, 4:30. Okay, I think I took more time. Yeah, maybe I will just read this quickly, then I will end the session. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about the key feature of mind training, so which will make us to prepare very much what to expect, or what to learn and what to cultivate. And it has a method aspect and wisdom aspects. So as far as concerned with the method aspect, then is the profound reorientations of our basic attitude, both towards our own self and towards fellow sentient beings, as well as towards the event around us. Presently, we tend not only grasp at some kind of intrinsically real self that constitute our true being, but also to cherish the welfare of this true me at the expense of others. The mind training teaching challenges us to reverse this process. The teaching involved the deep understanding of others as a true friend, as a more precious than wish-fulfilling jewel, as Langri Tamba put in his Adverses of Thought Transformation. And the recognition that our true enemy is inside, ourselves, not outside. We feel hurt when someone insults us, disappointed when someone we love betray us, outrage when provoked for no reasons, pangs of jealousy when others are successful, all because of deep-seated self-cherishing. It is self-cherishing that opens us to these painful and undesirable experiences. So the mind training teaching admonish us to banish all the blames to the single source, self-cherishing and self-grasping attitude. Then, towards all beings, contemplate their kindness. One of mind training's most memorable contribution to world spirituality is the practice of Tonglen, taking and giving. Yeah. Mm. For the method aspect. So when we go through the different texts of Lojong, uh, uh, you know the practice is the practice on the Lojong, practice on Tonglen, taking and giving, and practice of Tonglen or taking and giving serve as the complementary practice to develop bodhicitta when we train through the seven cause and effect and or the 4 point of self-exchanging with others. uh, the Tonglen practice also serve for beginner that who want to develop great compassion and unconditional love. By training in Tonglen practice, condition us to develop easier in the attitude of developing loving kindness and compassion. So like that. So as far as concerned with the wisdom aspect, uh, despite all of the practice in the method, we still fail to recognize the ultimate nature of thing as a devoid of substantial reality and continue to fall prey to self-grasping. We are advised to learn to view all things from their ultimate perspective as a dreamlike and void of substantial reality. Given our deeply ingrained tendency to, reify anything we deem worthy of attention, um, once our application of remedy proves successful, there is the danger of grasping at the remedy themselves once again bring caught into the bondage. So we are told that the remedy too is to free in its own place. So focus, when we cultivate the wisdom aspect of mind training, then we have to focus on the selflessness or the emptiness of both the object and subject. Just focusing on the selflessness of the object of your meditation, uh, that sometimes also loses, get the leakage of not completing the absolute wisdom because the grasping is still caught onto the subject side. So you see, so while we're training through the mind training teachings, practices, then to develop the wisdom, then we always have to be aware to see the emptiness of both subject and object. On the path of spiritual transformation, we are bound to confront all kind of circumstances. This is what happens in the Lojong practice, both positive and negative. To be successful, we need a method whereby we can remain steadfast on our course. In this context, the mind training teaching excels brilliantly with the principle of transforming of all adversity into a path. The 7-point mind training puts it this way: when the world and its inhabitants are filled with the negativity, transform adverse condition into a path of enlightenment. So taking entire situation, good and bad, into development of the path to enlightenment. For example, if we are slandered by someone without any justified basis, we can see the situation as a precious opportunity to cultivate forbearance. If we are attacked by someone, we can view the assailant with compassion, seeing that he is possessed by the demon of mental affliction such as anger, and domination of karma, etc. Then we, instead of retaliation negatively, we rather generate compassion. The master of the mind training teaching extended this principle to all possible situations. They speak of taking both success and misfortune into a path to develop loving kindness, compassion, and 5 paths, 10 grounds, all the way to the enlightenment qualities. Both joy and pain onto the path, both wealth and poverty onto the path. So this can be summed by the great Pandit, Kashmiri Pandit, Shakti, his composition, can sum up. Shakti Shiri's composition and Geshe Chekawa's composition will sum up both the wisdom aspect and the method aspect of cultivation that has to be focused during the Lojong teachings and Lojong practices. So the Shakti Shiri's composition, it says, "When happy, I shall dedicate my virtues to all sentient beings. May benefit the happiness pervade all of space. When suffering, I shall take on the pains of all beings. May the oceans of suffering become dry." Chekawa, "Because of multitude aspiration, I have defeated the tragic tale of suffering and have taken instruction to subdue self-grasping. Now, even if I die, I have no remorse." Yep. So, so today I will stop here. So we take a moment to dedicate, which as emphasized from the 7-point the mind training teaching, the importance of the initial correct motivation, then in the middle, the action to be infused by the motivation, then at the end, dedicate in altruism. So we do here whatever merit that we accumulated individually as well as collectively from this very session. In particularly the earlier practice that we did in relation to Mother Tara, then as well as even hearing the name of the Gautama masters. Without any doubt that our heart will be blessed with abundance of virtues and merit. May all this collective merit together, the collective merit of all the past, present Buddhas, then Bodhisattvas, gurus, sanghas, and practitioners of loving kindness and compassion. We dedicate this collective merit for the world peace and happiness of all sentient beings, from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. We dedicate this, our collective merit, be the complete cause. All the people who died, all the people and all the animals and anybody, anyone, any sentient being died within the last 49 days. May this merit be the cause for them to overcome the fear and negativities of the hallucinational, fear during the intermediate state, and be the conducive conditions to actualize their past virtuous imprint, and may that be the cause for them to actualize higher rebirth, precious human rebirth, or pure land, or enlightenment, and there actualize all the stages of path after enlightenment. Also, to dedicate this collective merit for the long life, good health, and fulfillment of all the aspirations of all the good people, all the beneficial people for the world peace and happiness sentient being, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Gyabjamang Soba, and all the other spiritual gurus, spiritual practitioners, Mahasanghas, and anyone. And also dedicate this collective merit to those, all the frontliners, doctors and nurses, anyone that who is helping to protect people from this pandemic crisis. May this merit be the complete cause for their protection, complete cause for their happiness, their long life, and the effectiveness of their work to help others. May this merit be the complete cause each and every one of us here to have a good health, long life, and fulfill all our mundane and spiritual aspirations, which are all to be dedicated for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. Then most importantly, may this collective merit be the complete cause each and every one of us have the courage, have the blessing, have the merit to dedicate every single moment of our future moments, future lifetimes, future moment times, from this very moment onward, rest of the future times, until we have actualized full enlightenment, be the complete cause in the service of bringing and causing happiness and virtue and enlightenment to each and every single sentient being. May this complete merit be the cause for us to be never to be separated from perfect Mayanic Guru. May this merit be the complete cause our precious gurus to always turn the wheel of Dharma until end suffering in every single sentient being. May this merit be the complete cause for us always to be free from the distractions of worldly concerns, distractions of worldly concerns, or distraction from the cultivation of Dharma, cultivation of learning Dharma, cultivation of contemplating Dharma, cultivation of meditation on Dharma. In short, may this complete collective merit be the cause for each and everyone who ever see us, remember us, think of us, praise us, criticize us, even cause of our life. May entire our existence be the only cause of benefit to their virtue, to their purification of negative emotions, negative karma, and suffering, to be the complete cause for them to actualize full enlightenment. And finally, we dedicate this collective merit to all the people who make us to have this opportunity to dedicate, this hour or so in pursuit of Dharma. It could be your partner, it could be your children, it could be even the environment, which are the creations of sentient beings' mind, which are the creation of sentient beings. And of course, the rest of the numberless sentient beings are the cause for us to pursue the Dharma. And rest of the Buddhas and Gurus are also a cause and inspiration for us to engage in the Dharma. So therefore, we feel appreciated. And in particularly, we dedicate the collective merit to APMD Australia, National Office, Stephanie and Peter, and also dedicate to all the other, Australian APMD Center SPCs, directors, committee members, and rest of the other, the centers and individuals who put effort to make time for us to have a Dharma session, have a virtual session, and to at least dedicate this hour, for the benefit of sentient being. So may this be the cause for their good health, long life, and fulfill all their aspirations. So finally, whether I am able to, speak effectively or not, but then, with the correct listening, with the correct motivation that you have, with the vast wisdom that you have, with the vast merit that you have, every single the time and the sharing be the antidote to purify the karma, delusion, and defilement, towards enlightenment, and be the complete cause and condition to develop our heart, just like the lineage gurus after enlightenment. Chanju Semjo Rinpoche Maje Banam Jeju Jawanyamba Mebayang Gonen Gondo Pema Shuvotoni Tawa Rinpoche Maje Banam Jeju Jawanyamba Mebayang Gonen Gondo Pema Shu Jambe Bawajita Jambana Kundu Sabote and the Jinje, the Kunji Sodaloji and Java, the Tadam Jeratongo, the Zujebe Java Tamje de Mo Kamachitongo Bande, Taji Sawa de Sambo Jeje Rabdongo. Yeah. So in short, you dedicate, in heart, you dedicate like how the Bodhisattva Cheresik, Bodhisattva Samadambhadra, Bodhisattva Manjushri, how they dedicate whenever they get opportunity to accumulate merit or pursue Dharma or practice whatever. We too dedicate just like them, so that our dedication truly received by entire numberless sentient beings. Yawagundo Yandalamada, Ramichi Balalo, Salam Yenera, Doji Chingo, Carrera, Kobe, Chingam de Penandeva, Management, Cheres, Patija, Shabese de Bado, Dangeroje, Tuzo Changi Jango, Javede, Zigumbe, Kuzuto, Chosoko, Demetulu, Taso de Gondo, Shab de Show. Okay, thank you very, very, very much. And today I think I lied at the beginning. I say I try to stop on time, but seems like it's been a bit longer than that. I'm sorry. And in coming sessions, I will try to discipline as much as possible. And it seems like there are a lot of comments, message out there. I'm so sorry that I am unable to reply them. Or even see them, and most of the time unless I'm reading, otherwise most of the time my teachings are, very much in the close eye. So, so therefore, please excuse me. And but I think whatever questions that you may have, I think eventually when we go along the text, I think, all our questions will be cleared. Then also, I think many of you may already have the Mind Training Great Collection, the text, Lojong text, and from free time you can read them, and like that. So as far as concerned with the coming sessions, sometime we may just read out, some of the sections, and some of the teachings will do some commentaries. I am fortunate to receive the oral transmission and some of the texts, with a commentary from my late guru, Geshe Zopa Sunday, in the course of quite many years. And so there are a few students for quite a long time. They knew about that, and they actually asked me to do, transmission of the teaching. And usually when I tour, each place we don't have much time. So therefore, it's no way that we can able to complete the entire text. And also, and also generally, it's quite rare to go through the entire the text unless we organize a dedicated transmission from certain gurus. Otherwise, it is quite difficult to complete whole texts like that. And most of the time, we just focus on the few major Lojong teachings like 8 verses, and 7-point transformation, will of Shabab, and etc. But then there are so many other blessed texts, we do miss out, So I thought that it would be very beneficial if we can, go through, like that, So there's some to understand the scriptural meaning. I think it is easy, anyone, if you just read it, you will understand. But when it comes to, the transmitting of the blessing, then it is a different thing, So therefore, as I mentioned at the beginning, we try to in future days, and whoever want to join, then please join for gain an inner wisdom, not an intellectual kind of new words, new ideas, So then our coming together, you can receive the transmission of the blessing from the lineage gurus, and at the same time, it condition you to really refresh, some of the instructions to your practice, So, so this way, then ultimately we will be able to fulfill the main purpose of learning Lojong teaching like that. Okay. So thank you very much. So I stop here. Thank you. Yeah. Bye bye.